Right. I'm starting.
Yes,
Do you
please.
hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And before answering to the opposition side arguments and reviewing the points that our house has given, I want you to imagine and situate yourself in a position when, we hope that this never happens to you, but we want you to imagine a situation where in your most loved person is in bed suffering, and the doctors have informed you that unfortunately there's no medicine or treatment available, and that if the patient stays in that situation, apart from suffering, you, their family, are going to have to pay exponentially growing medical bills that in reality are not helping your loved one, because that person is suffering anyways.
Point of
So I want
information.
you to, no, thank you. So I want you to think about that, situate your position in that situation, and think about it. So before continuing with the arguments that our house has given, I'd like to deal with 2 points, many points here. The first is the argument that you talked about, that the other team talked about, the medical advancement.
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, no. The belief that advances in the scientific field are going to be there for you when you're in a pain state are completely oblivious. First of all, we all know that advances in the medical field take a lot of time to be completely secure and working. They have to go from a lot of stages, from the research to the confirmation that that treatment or medication is truly working. And also the patient doesn't owe anything to the scientific field.
On that
So
point,
he,
ma'am?
no, thank you. So he doesn't have to wait for them to, he doesn't have to wait for them to come with a treatment to save him. You have to think that that person is in a particular situation in which he or she is suffering, and he's not thinking about future medical developments. Also, another point that the other team talked about is the optimistic state of mind. I don't think that you can apply your own experience into others people's decisions. You can't compare your pain level to other people, because that's going to be on, it's a personal way of thinking, and only personal. We can go and say
Point of
to other
information,
person,
ma'am.
yes.
Okay, so you're saying that I cannot compare the levels. How can you compare the levels of the person suffering then?
I'm not comparing the levels of someone suffering. I'm just when someone is suffering in a level that he can't anymore from his own point of view, we're offering them a solution to his pain or her pain. So the pain level and the point of view is only on the person's point of the person's way of thinking. We can influence it on to other people, or the person to change their state of mind. Okay. Now I'm going to see my partner's arguments from other point of view. For example, the first speaker talked about medical assisted euthanasia, and I can give you an example of how is this working in many countries. Belgium, Luxembourg, Canada, New Zealand, Spain, and the Netherlands are places where euthanasia is voluntary euthanasia is legal, and people legally request and receive a prescription medication from their physician or their doctor to hasten the death in a peaceful, human, and dignified manner. Which, if we wait for a treatment or a magic medication to appear, it can go from another way. For example, if you try a treatment for with a patient that is suffering, that patient can die in a bad manner and not the manner that he's willing to. And from other part, The second speaker talked about the respect the choice of these people. According to the Declaration of the Human Rights, the right to live recognizes the protection and privacy of someone's life just by the fact that they exist. That means that our lives are completely ours. So we have the total liberty of doing whatever we'd like with them, even end it. And this has basically to do with each one's dignity. We can tear apart a person from his right. Uh, can you tell me your point of information, the one that you had before?
I totally forgot it. You can go ahead.
Okay. So that's it. When the opposition side says that accepting euthanasia accept that someone's lives, or those who are disabled or sick or just are willing to die, are worth less than others. In our statement, we say that euthanasia is given only for compassionate purposes. The act of taking someone's life because they are suffering doesn't implicate any sign of disrespect or contempt. In fact, when we listen to our patient's desire to end with their suffering, we're benefiting them. If we just let them go through a bad state, will be a disrespectful and inhuman act. Also, when you say that euthanasia affects other people's rights, not just the rights of the patient, the life of the patient is their right and only their. Death is a private matter, and nor the state or nor the family nor the third people should interfere with the individual's right to die. How many time do I have left?
1 minute and 30 seconds.
Okay. And also, when they say that euthanasia weakens society respect for the sanctity of life, when it comes to health problems and a situation in which a human being is suffering, people don't think about if this action is moral or not. They're thinking about how they are experiencing that situation and how they can end with their suffering. In which this case we were talking about is the euthanasia or voluntary death. Also, I want to note something that I think it's important. In our affirmation, we exclusively defend voluntary euthanasia that will be supervised by the government, as my partner said before. So when someone is willing to end their lives, we give them the right tools to think about it before making the decision. For example, if we think that a person that is not in the state of mind or to decide properly, we give them a therapeutic help to help them decide whether they really want to die or not. And because all of these arguments that I gave you, I think